Corona. 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 We are live. Free Hollywood Live is the live stream in which Libertarian comrades come together to discuss pop culture, today's top news, disruptive technologies, and to shoot the shit with you, the commenters, in the chat. And for you tuning into the replay as well, welcome. His is the voice of calm and reason, albeit from the dark side. It's the professor of alchemy with a doctorate and many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Darth Yoda.
How's it going, man?
Hey, man, welcome to the Tuesday night live stream. We have a lot to talk about. We have Justice joining us in a little bit.
Well, we hope he's joining us because breaking news, Justice 36 minutes ago left to go to Target, and there's no sign
What the hell?
of him.
He broke quarantine?
He broke quarantine.
Well, it better be for something important.
Him and special guest Monkey Wrench are on their way to Target, last we heard, but
we're not sure if we'll ever hear from them again, but if they do show up, we do have our special guest Monkey Wrench tonight. Hopefully they'll. And one other thing. Are we going full Yeti tonight?
I think we are. I think that's the purpose of the Target run. He needed a different adapter or something.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Well, I thought I had just heard a fifth guest.
Yeah, there's Anarcho Kitty here with his observations.
Hey, Anarcho Kitty.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, there's just too much going on right now to keep up with everything.
I know there's a bulging stimulus package coming tomorrow.
It's the most bulging, throbbing stimulus liquidity injection you've ever seen. $4 trillion. A couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was just last week. I can't remember. There's a bit of a time warp going on here. We've been doing these live streams. I don't even know for how long we've been doing this now. It's been months. It's kind of weird how much time has passed. We were just hearing of all this outbreak pretty much like the second time we went live. We started talking about it.
Yeah, how long ago was that? Sometime in February. Yeah?
Yeah, let me take a look. All right. First live stream was December 8th, 2019. And then we streamed again in February 2nd. So we skipped the entire month of January.
Yeah. But by February 2nd, you were already cluing us in on what was coming out of WeChat from China.
Yeah, that's right. That was the stream that we started talking about Star Trek Picard, going in on that series. But as you can see in the thumbnail, there was a coronavirus. A Tecate flu icon there. So yeah, we were talking about it in that stream. I'm not exactly sure all what was said, but you guys listening. By the way, if you're listening tonight, joining us in the live chat, give us a thumbs up just to tickle the balls of the algorithm just right to attract more people into the stream. But yeah, I was hearing news from China directly. News, as I normally choose not to do. But yeah, the things I was seeing, I recall seeing a time-lapse video of them building a hospital in province of Wuhan. And it was happening at such a dramatic speed. It was something I'd never seen. And I just thought to myself, you know, if they're taking it this seriously and freaking out in China, there must be something to this. This isn't going to be like SARS.
No, no, and you were right. You were right. You were ahead of the game versus kind of where most other people were at the time.
Well, I appreciate you saying so, but I take no joy in it. It's easy to predict that people are going to panic. I mean, that was the only thing I was saying, is not that I want people to panic. I mean, I was thinking, but it was kind of getting misconstrued as I was still causing people to panic by talking about all these things. But now we're in a situation where people are panicking and having a hard time finding all the goods that we were suggesting people buy back then.
Yeah, is there still a toilet paper shortage, or is that last week's drama?
Well, it was last week's, but I believe the toilet paper shortage is still on. People complaining about that, but toilet paper is not an ancient technology. It doesn't go back very far. It's pretty modern. Like, it's recent times. Like, what were humans doing for millennia before there was Charmin?
I don't know, using leaves and stuff.
I mean, leaves, yeah, I'm not sure that would be the best. I heard a guy on Joe Rogan talking about he used a handful of gravel once.
Oh, geez, that can't be good.
But I guess effective if you're looking for granularity. But there's no way you don't get some of that on your hand in the process.
Oh.
But but if you're a man, you must wipe with your hand. No, that's the old song when I was a kid. I don't know if you ever heard it. It goes,
I don't think I know that one.
Stranded on the toilet bowl. What do you do when you're stranded with no paper on the roll? To prove you're a man, you must wipe with your hand. Then everyone will know that you were stranded. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It was taking a line from that song from Dougie Fresh, the game.
Oh, is that what it's from? Dougie Fresh?
Well, it's like I think, I can't recall what came first, the Dougie Fresh song or this song, but it's the same melody. But anyway. Oh, man. So I just heard somebody popping in. Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh.
Where there's injustice, you'll find him. When facts are in need of checking, he'll be there. A monster in a tuxedo who prefers his Corona shaken, not stirred. He's justice. Hey, man.
Hey, what are you drinking?
Victoria.
Sweet. Were you able to find the adapter you were looking for?
Monkey Wrench is about to sit down.
Oh, wait a second.
This is the epic.
Here we go. Engineering a peaceful future and laying waste to ideology. Educating the youth without compulsion. The monkey of the hour. It's Monkey Wrench. Yes. Woo!
Wow.
Dude, I missed you.
Truly the apocalypse really is here. Monkey Wrench has joined the live stream.
Oh, man, for sure. Let me check the comments. Yeah, no one has commented yet, but we have a viewer or two. Definitely hit the thumbs up for Monkey Wrench joining us once again. The full Rep Freedom Force in the house. Well, we're missing Jabba. So we're down one, but pretty much.
Has anybody talked to Jabba lately?
I had a chat with him.
Yeah.
When?
A couple of days ago.
Okay.
I think it was right after we boarded up the restaurant. Yeah.
I talked to him about a week ago, or maybe a little longer. Hey, by the way,
Okay.
Is Yeti working?
Are you guys, Yeti is up and running there?
I mean, there's some mic that's working. Otherwise, Otherwise, things are even stranger than.
Well, you may want to check your settings. I'm not sure if that's Yeti or not.
I'm checking.
Just make sure it's not the internal mic. But you guys, we're definitely hearing you guys. Definitely hearing you guys.
Does it sound like a Yeti?
I don't know.
Here it is. Input.
Stanton's got kind of this radio voice thing going on.
He does.
Yeah. Seriously, yeah, it was pretty
Introduce myself, ladies and gentlemen. I am your anointed host, Anarcho Jesus, the Lord and Savior of pop culture.
Oh, I'm sorry. Am I not supposed to use your real name?
Oh, I didn't even catch that you did dox me there.
He did.
Well, whatever.
I don't know. He's doxed himself there, so figure bring you along too.
Bring me along for the ride.
All right. Seems like there's
Makes a difference, but go ahead.
difficulties with the Yeti over there.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they're using a Yeti at this point, but we're hearing there is a microphone involved. I can definitely hear them.
The microphone, is it?
Yeah, the computer's not seeing the Yeti because it's not.
Yeah, I might have to drop back off the stream and then back in just to get your Yeti, which is cool. That's okay.
Yeah, no,
We'll keep tap dancing while you're gone.
I think.
I mean, it shouldn't require external power.
No,
That's
external power.
The computer's not seeing it. I really have to have my hub for this to work, and I didn't bring it.
Did you see that you're watching this?
I'm sorry about that.
White hat hacker of the simulation, my ass.
Yeah.
Can't even get a microphone to work.
Sad.
Yeah, I just don't have a USB to USB-C adapter.
Yeah, but I'm hearing you guys loud and clear. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to pull up this video from 60 Minutes. Did you guys see that yet?
I don't believe it.
No.
Was it the previous Fed chair or the current Fed chair? I forget. They've gone through so many Fed chairs in the last several years. Let me pull this up. It was on 60 Minutes basically while we were streaming on Sunday night.
Oh, is this the one where they say, oh, we can just print infinite money? Like they basically say that point blank.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
Yes, indeed. Okay, I just got to get through this commercial and I'll pull the video up.
All right,
there we go. Let me skip ahead because I didn't actually watch the full episode, so I just need to get to the part that's. Yeah, the part where.
Is this what's viewed in the live stream? Like this image?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I noticed that you can see that has you and I in it, and I can't see that with them. So I guess
They are using
I don't know.
avatars.
Okay, to keep their identities secret
From the world.
Yeah. Well. Okay.
Yeah, status can't possibly figure out who we really are.
Yes. Okay, I found it. Okay, you guys, if your Yeti's not working, that's all right. We could still hear you, but you may have to drop off the stream and come back in just to get it to connect. I'm not sure.
The computer doesn't even see it.
Yeah,
so
the computer doesn't see it.
Oh.
Is it PC? Sorry. Yeah. All right. No, but you guys sound fine. Here, I'm going to pull this video up. Let's react to it. This is what we've all been waiting for. This is what the whole world has been waiting for. Unlimited inflation. Let me share screen.
QE infinity.
You've never seen a stimulus package like this one before.
The ultimate, the infinite stimulus package.
The deep injection.
Postponed until July. This past week, the House and the Senate proposed trillion-dollar emergency spending plans. The bills envision sending government checks directly to households, expansion of unemployment insurance, corporate tax.
Okay, I need to skip ahead.
Workers.
Okay, here he is.
Expand all business. Republicans and Democrats are haggling over the details. Well, what do the small businesses need? I think.
What do the small businesses need, fellas? They need a giant liquidity injection, right? They need a stimulus package up their ass.
They need forgivable loans. Like, it's much better if we can keep small businesses to retain their workers than to lay them off.
What do you mean by forgivable loans?
I've heard a proposal that if a
What do you think he means by forgivable loan? What is that?
It's a loan. Wink.
the government made a loan to a small business, if they retain their workers, the government would forgive the loan after a couple of years, just to avoid the mass layoffs that we're starting to see right now.
So, y'all gonna play the game? It's a game, right? We're just gonna put on a big show, guys.
Yeah, we could make a drinking game out of this. Hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a beer in case we want to make a drinking game out of this thing.
Well, that would be a good idea. All I have is green tea right now. They say that that's really good for the.
You can still drink your green tea. Yeah.
Later, I will play an audio file that came to me via text message that has some best practices. That it's really informative. But let's continue.
Bridge loan to get the local restaurant or the local mechanic through this period of time.
That's right.
Well, the loan is, we looked into it. Okay. We have a restaurant, so we looked into it. Yeah, that's right. Jesus is a restaurant owner. And the loan is 3.75% interest rate. I mean, it's pretty low, but that's not like something that I'm just going to take it without thinking. It's not a no-brainer, you know, and we still have some brains here. So we put a little brain into it and decided to close the restaurant because you got to pay that shit back. And that interest rate's still too high. Why is it that they give themselves 0% interest rates and we still got to pay? Anyone?
Right. And importantly, keeping the workers employed. That's much better because once people are lost into the sidelines, it just takes a long.
It's because it's anarchy for them and none for us. That's why. I just thought I would answer it since no one chimed in.
Long time to get them back.
Your business idea needs a
website. Oh, great. So,
commercial time.
Yeah, well, we're having this commercial break.
All right, I'm back.
What do you guys think of this so far? Oh, skip ad. Okay, let's get back to it. Oh, that's the end of it? Okay, that's not the end of it. All right, I'm going to have to find. Sorry about that.
So how soon?
There's a longer
before we have red lines
where he talks about the unlimited inflation. We didn't really get into that, did we?
When do you think we'll start having bread lines?
Well, there's already lines at stores. Grocery stores are only allowing a certain number of people in at a time right now. So there's already these Soviet-style lines looping around the block. At least there aren't full-on Soviet shortages yet. But, huh?
I'm sorry. I think I like to think of them as Hollywood Club type lines.
Okay, yeah, positive spin on things. Good reframe there. Yeah, so Hollywood Club lines. There's a tight velvet rope in front of every Trader Joe's, every Whole Foods, even every Walmart has tight velvet rope now. So yeah, hard to get into, very hard to get into. But once you're in there, I haven't been seeing like the extreme shortages yet. So. But yeah, there's a wait.
Well, at some point, people are going to run out of money, and they're not going to be able to buy bread.
Yeah, that's what the bulging stimulus package is for.
Yeah, but they're not. I mean, who do you think is going to cave on this? You guys have heard the latest controversy that Democrats decided to try to pass a bunch of items from the New Deal.
Are they calling something the New Deal? Or
the Green New Deal. Yeah.
Okay. I don't keep up with all of the various comedy series that are on these days.
Yeah. So they decided.
Did it disconnect?
No.
No, we're here. I found this. Here, let me.
Oh, so you found the "to infinity and beyond" quote.
Has learned from.
I think you cut out, but I think I know where you were going with that. To infinity and
beyond.
yes.
What is it? Is it?
We're moving much faster than we moved in 2008. We're being more aggressive.
Okay, yeah, that's it. This is the one. All right. Y'all listening to this? Okay, let me just back it up. Let's go back up a couple seconds. 10 seconds. All right.
Some cue ball had a B-rate actor reading some badly written shit off a teleprompter, like everything else, right?
Oh, well, see, this guy is speaking off the cuff. And look at the big wide, this is what Ghost's body language would call the believe me eyes.
Yeah.
The believe me eyes. The believe me look. Believe me, okay? We're going to bail out everything and everyone. Everyone's going to be okay. Here it comes.
Moved in 2008. We're being more aggressive. It's of 2008. We're moving much faster than we moved in 2008. We're being more aggressive. Is there more we can do? Yes.
Is that believe me eyes, or is that like I just did like a fat fucking rail of coke eyes?
Yes.
That's all they
Pretty
do in
much.
the Fed every day. All right.
More we may end up doing? Yes. But I think we're being very aggressive, and I think that's the right thing.
Can you characterize everything that the Fed has done this past week?
Taking this so seriously.
What do you think the Fed's been doing this week? Scratching their balls,
Snorting that coke.
Write checks.
calling buddies, making favors, making promises.
As essentially flooding the system with money.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah. Finally, they come out with it.
Yeah.
It's like, yes, that's exactly what we're doing.
All those years, all the beating around the bush. Conspiracy theories and theorizing, and and it's we're the conspiracy theorists. But let's hear that.
As essentially flooding the system with money.
Yes.
Look at that face.
Eyes.
Wow.
Like a crazed rabid dog.
Essentially flooding the system with money.
Yes.
Yes.
That's right there. Yes.
Yes.
Exactly. You hit it right on the head, buddy.
Into your ability to do that.
There is no end to our ability to do that.
There is no. I thought this stuff wasn't supposed to be real. Oh, man. Okay, here we go.
What did we learn from 2008 when you were in the Treasury Department, and how is that being applied today?
There are two big mistakes when I look back at 2008 that we made that I think are relevant today.
I guess, fellas, two big mistakes they made in 2008. I bet it wasn't that they printed too much money.
It was, they printed too little money.
It wasn't enough, and it wasn't fast enough.
They needed a man with a bigger stimulus package.
To infinity and beyond.
Well, let's see if you were accurate.
Number one, we were always too slow and too timid in responding.
Ding, 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 ding.
The
Okay.
reason is we didn't know how bad it was going to get. And we didn't want to overreact.
That face.
Wow.
And it turned out it got really, really bad. And the right answer should have been overreacting.
Oh. Cocaine is a marvelous drug.
Wait a second. So the answer is panic, people. No. Is that what I'm hearing? He's saying, we didn't panic enough last time. So what we learned from last time is this time we should panic. Yeah, to the tune of $4 trillion. I believe the bailout last time started at 7 700 billion. And I remember Obama saying that this is a significant number. It has to be a significant number. 700 billion. It was a number that we had never heard before. And we thought, wow, that sounds awfully big. $4 trillion.
But little did we know how big it can get.
No, that 700 billion is just like a bloop into the lake of $4 trillion. And yeah, that's where we're at right now.
To try to avoid the devastating recession that we ended up happening. So today, whether it's healthcare policymakers, fiscal policymakers, which means Congress, or the Federal Reserve.
I'm waiting.
Side of overreacting.
Sorry. Hey guys, this is All right. People have been calling me saying I don't have toilet paper. I'm running out of money. I'm not sure if I should skip on rent. What should I do? Let's see what he has to say about that again. What was the advice?
Congress or the Federal Reserve, we should all be erring on the side of overreacting.
Panic, people.
Panic now.
That's what you.
Guys, most of the guys are panic.
This time we're going to run the printing presses till there's smoke billowing out of them. And then we're going to run them faster till they're on fire. And then we're going to run them faster until everything's on fire.
We will print so much money. We will print so much that you won't have to worry about toilet paper shortages.
Yes.
Out of this.
Oh man, that is awesome.
The worst economic outcomes. And number two, in 2008, we tried to be very targeted in helping homeowners, only helping homeowners who needed a little bit of help, because a lot of Americans were angry at the thought of their neighbor getting a bailout for being irresponsible, or so they thought.
What? Hold on, I'm gonna back this up again. That's what?
Only helping homeowners who needed a little bit of help, because a lot of Americans were angry at the thought of their neighbor getting a bailout for being irresponsible, or so they thought. So we tried to target our programs.
Oh, okay. So they only bailed out the responsible people. Is that right?
The irresponsible.
No. His point was that they only bailed out some people. And that was
right.
Because you got to bail out everybody.
And they realize now that you must bail out everyone.
All people. Thank you for clear. I wasn't really following that. It was my brain was having a hard time.
Stan, the problem is you were trying to think logically.
I was.
It's impossible to think logically on the amount of cocaine that this guy did before the interview.
Ben claimed the edge of the cliff and he paused. And so he couldn't follow the guy because you can't pause. You must take flight like this guy.
It ended up, we didn't help very many people. We would have been much better off if we had been much more generous in our support for homeowners.
Much more generous in our bailing out of the irresponsible.
Deserving and not deserving, we would have had a less serious crisis. So,
wait a second. We can't just you can't just continue after saying something like that. Like,
are you telling me that Santa is going to give presents to both children who are naughty and nice?
yes.
It's like presents have no meaning.
That is perfect.
It's like naughty nice has no meaning.
Oh man. The Federal Reserve is Santa Claus, and he's giving presents to both naughty and nice. Man, you said it perfectly. That is it.
My advice to Congress, as they're designing their programs to help workers and help small businesses, err on being generous.
Okay. What did we learn, gentlemen?
I think what he was trying to say right there is that we don't really know what the fuck we're doing. There's no way to know what the fuck we're doing. And so really all we can do is more.
Panic more.
Oh man.
Our problem is we didn't overreact enough.
Jesus. Yes, hello. So the president wants us to get back to work already. I listened to the Tecate Task Force this morning.
That's right. Anarcho Jesus watching the Tecate Task Force so the rest of you don't have to.
That's right.
Taking
people.
one for the team.
Happy to serve. This morning, they decided to meet out in the Rose Garden. So instead of being cooped up in a room, passing germs to one another, they decided to let the germs fly freely out in the open air. So that's where they had the meeting today. It was more of an interview, though. They had a Fox News reporter, a talking head, asking questions and giving the president and the Tecate Task Force a chance to respond. The one thing that the president kept coming back to again and again was this little phrase that I picked up from Brian Tracy, self-help guru. This is the phrase you use when you want to get people out of your office, out of your face, out of your cubicle, and you want to be more productive. You use this phrase. You say, well, I guess it's time to get back to work. You see, because when you invoke the phrase, get back to work, it causes the disheveled slovenly coworker to stand up, about face, and leave your office. It's amazing how it works. It's like magic. And Brian Tracy would tell you so. Like it is. It's like a magic phrase. I've used it a lot. It works. It works really well. Now the president is using this magic phrase on all of America. I heard it about 10 times this morning. He says, you know, folks, we've had a couple of good weeks. My 15 days are almost up. We may need a few more days beyond the 15. But what we really need to do is get back to work. Time to get back to work.
That's an NLP method of phrasing to evoke emotional response.
Mm-hmm.
When you put something slow and low like that.
Time to get back to work.
So is Orange Man running NLP on the whole country?
As always, ever since the beginning.
Yeah.
We only think that he's a fool. But you can only stumble your way into victory so many times before you got to start wondering, maybe he's not such an idiot after all. But that's still a matter of open to opinion, I'm sure. We have differences of opinion on that one here. Monkey Wrench, any thoughts on Orange Man?
I generally try to not have any ever. and if you know, it's just one of those subjects where if it comes up in conversation, I just tend to tune out the person that's speaking. So
It's been a wild few years with President Trump. I don't know, man. Sometimes I love that guy. Like some of the things he says, I find myself laughing so hard sometimes. He's like the funniest president. But
well, it's supposed to be entertaining.
It is. He knows about the show. That's for damn sure. Like a lot of these politicians don't get that part, but he does. Yeah, he's definitely putting on a show. Like for the world to see. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, you know, they had to change the format. And I think it's, you know, I think audiences, the viewing audiences have responded well to it. It seems to me. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
About something that's a hot topic of conversation, like consistently over like, you know, a long period of time. I think, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, some would say he reignited the popularity of mainstream news in some ways.
That's not good. Orange Man bad just for doing that.
Well,
like people are watching CNN again. Oh,
it's like
if he didn't do that, something else more recently, I think certainly seems to have done that.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's for sure. And you have a captive audience.
Yeah.
Well, I noticed we have a couple of eyeballs out there in the chat. Just want to encourage more people to join you and let us know what you think of all this we're talking about. Should we have unlimited I mean, is that a great idea? Let's just print up as much money to solve all of our problems as we need. It worked really great in 2008. You know, that's one thing that really bothers me about all this. I recall the 2008 crisis like it was yesterday. We lost him. Here, I'm going to remove him from the stream and add him again.
Oh, there we go.
Maybe they can get their Yeti working. Well, anyway, the point I'm making is we never really recovered from 2008, did we? Like, the recession wasn't allowed to take its full effect, to have the full correction, as they say, in the market economy, so that not only can correct, that we can come out on the other side in a better situation, better footing. But that never really transpired. Like, there's not a solid foundation that we're working from here.
No, the whole goal was to just reinflate the bubble, and they managed to do that.
And it worked. It worked.
So, but of course, managing to do that just means, you kick the can down the road another 10 years.
Yeah. And it seemed as though when Obama was president, there was still a bit of holding back. I recall after all of the bailouts, the banks still didn't loan money very easily to people. It was difficult to get those home loans and things, which were so easy to get before. It was difficult to get legitimate loans for businesses and so forth after that. And it really wasn't until Trump was elected that the taps seemed to get turned back on, the floodgate, the spigots from the old printing machine seemed to start really flowing out to the market economy after Trump was elected. If you just look at the charts, you can see there was kind of a V-shaped bottom from election day until recent collapse, with a small drawback in December of 2018.
Yeah, but that went back up. But now the markets have given up all their gains since Trump was elected. So. Not all since he was elected.
Let's pull up a chart. I'll show you. Let's take a look here.
All right, just as the monkey wrench have returned.
Down? Have they? Okay, excellent. S&P.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We didn't drop out intentionally.
How long?
Whenever.
All night. We're going all night. That's what she said. No, I mean, it's just as long as you guys are enjoying yourselves and people out there are enjoying listening. I'm pulling up the S&P 500. I forget how to actually pull that up by the ETF. We'll take a look at the monthly chart. And here, let me share my screen out so you can see it as well. Here we go. Just taking a quick look. I mean, yeah, we've given up a lot, that's for sure. But let's see how much we've given up. I'm going to zoom out to the monthly chart so that we can see everything. 1 month. Here we go. Okay, so when was the election?
2016? What are you talking about?
Yeah. The presidential election was November 2016. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
November, let's see, July, September, October, November. Okay, let me keep my eye on that candle. There it is. November 2016. Right there. And all right, you're right. I have to say this wick comes down. It does meet this candle, this November candle. Look right there.
Yeah,
you're right. The S&P 500, at least for a day or two, gave back all the gains. Wow. And guess what? This isn't over. We're not done. Who do you believe this bounce we're having today?
We think the stimulus is coming bounce.
Yes, this is the $4 trillion is on the way. It's the helicopters. The helicopters going to start dumping money on the markets. That's what this candle means. Yeah, that's today. I'm not. Trump says he believes in the V-shaped recovery. Yeah, I do too, but I'm not sure this is it.
Does anybody consider inflation a problem?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the time we should be listening to Ron Paul, but we all know. We all know.
He wrote a pretty good article about this. I think we brought it up before.
Trying to find my drawing tools. Right. So we had a nice little bounce, but then it made a lower high and continued making. There it is. There's a lower low, and we're bouncing now. In order for this bounce to be real, fellas, price needs to basically. All right. So I didn't draw it quite right. It looks like we had a bit of something right there, right? So we need to at least get it back up above that point, which would be, let's see, how many percent above where the price is now? Oops, sorry. Doing this wrong. All right. How embarrassing. Here we go. I'm not as good at this as Tom Vase. By the way, he's trading Tom Vase. Okay.
Uh-oh. Monkey Wrench has wandered off. You've lost him.
You lost him?
Yeah.
I'm sure he has a hot date or something.
Is it smoke break time?
I'm going to, but I don't imagine you want to.
Probably don't want to do it, do you?
Well, I don't know why it's not working, but yeah, usually you can drag. Oh, there it is. Kind of working. Oh,
Correct.
here we go. Oh, okay, there we go. All right. We need to go up another 12% in order to create a higher high. If tomorrow or this week doesn't get back to that level, then this is what they call a dead cat bounce, where the market rolls over and creates a lower low, and it looks something like this. Doesn't quite get up to that point, and then it just rolls over like that, okay? And then it just goes like that. There it is.
And there's your collapse.
There's your market analysis for the month of March. That's what you have to look forward to and to expect. So all you people getting excited buying your shares of everything that was low, thinking that you bought the bottom, thinking that you were the smart one and everyone else that didn't buy today, they're the dummies.
No, you're going to you may well meet the same fate as Wen token hodlers.
Oh God, he keeps reminding me of my Wen token bag. This is the Scott Adams crypto that was created as a medium of exchange for his, what was the name of that app? Interface by WinHub. Right. So it's an app. I think it's still active. He just doesn't talk about it too much because it's maybe not so active, but it's still around. It's alive, but it's like you can call on professionals to ask advice about things and to learn and to get practical teaching and for so many other things. And there was a token involved for exchange in case you don't want to use the US dollar or whatever. I bought myself a... Go ahead.
You could thank people for their amazing advice by giving them Wen tokens.
Oh my God. I just got really excited and said, I'm going to put $300 into Wen token, and just bought myself a bag that went to zero, basically. I don't know that it's zero. I don't know what it is, but it's on its way.
I don't think any of this crap has technically gone to zero.
Nothing goes to zero, technically, but...
But that $300 is probably worth like... Yeah, I don't know. We won't go there.
Yeah, maybe $3. Yeah, something like that. Oh my God. So I can see. Hey, Justice, hit me up with some words. I want to hear if I can hear you. Yes, I can hear you. It's weird. I don't see you, but I can hear you.
You don't see? Really?
Yeah. It's just a spinning. Do you see him, Darth Yoda?
I see him.
Okay. Well, it's just on my end then. I see a spinning top. That's it. Yeah. All right. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think you just muted him.
I muted.
He muted himself.
Keep going.
Right on. Well, there was one thing I wanted to play for you guys tonight. It was like best practices during all of this from a nurse that works with doctors who have come up with this list of things to do in case you find yourself contracting coronavirus. You guys want to hear that?
Yeah, go for it.
Let me see. Here it is.
All right, they've dropped off again.
Hi guys. Just wanted to pass on this information. It was sent to me by a colleague who has a friend that works at Dr. Negrin, which is the main hospital on our island. It's obviously in Spanish, so I'm just going to read it and translate it for you. This is what it says. The Chinese now understand the behavior of the COVID-19 virus thanks to autopsies that they have carried. It is virarized by obstructing respiratory pathways with thick mucus that solidifies and blocks the airways. And so they have discovered that in order to be able to apply a medicine, you have to open and unblock these airways so that the treatment can be used to take effect. However, all of this takes a number of days. Their recommendations for what you can do to safeguard yourself are: number one, drink lots of hot liquids, coffee, soups, teas, warm water. In addition, take a sip of warm water every 20 minutes because this keeps your mouth moist and washes any of the virus that's entered your mouth into your neutralize it before it can get to the lungs.
You guys can hear this okay?
Yeah, kind of like your microphone in general tonight. It's
the internet. We've been having laggy internet all day long, and this time it's not the teenager upstairs competing with streaming their video game. I think they're not playing. It's just laggy internet in general. I wonder if this is a sign of things to come.
But wait, what is this I see? I see Monkey Wrench breaking quarantine. He is sighted outside here.
Oh, he's outside?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, actually, we're in the garage.
Oh, you're inside your garage?
Oh, okay. So not totally breaking quarantine.
Not totally. That's pretty much where I keep myself quarantined, the garage. Most of the day. I have backgammon in my car on the Tesla screen, so I love that game. I don't actually have a board game of it, so I just play backgammon for hours while I'm listening to President Trump and the Tecate Task Force every day. Fun times in quarantine, people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wanted to ask Monkey Wrench, since we haven't had him for a really long time, like
ever.
Well, ever since the old days, that's for sure. We do have a couple of really great videos back in the archives, though, with Monkey Wrench you can check out. There was one called "The Federal Reserve Pisses Itself a Little Bit." So if you want to check out a really great video with Monkey Wrench teaching about the Federal Reserve and some of our old activism, definitely search for "The Federal Reserve Pisses Itself a Little Bit."
Yeah,
that was from the time we went on that the march.
Monkey Wrench looks troubled. Like what's going through his mind is, wait a minute.
That's what I'm wondering.
Do I really want people to search for that?
Right. I got to tell you, you're going to appreciate this. But my friend from Ireland, Bob from Ireland, he got in touch with me around St. Paddy's Day, and he's like, "Man, there's this old video on your channel I used to love. It was that video. It was like this guy was drunk driving, and he was like, 'Haven't you ever seen a drunk driver?' And I was like laughing my ass off, man. Where is that video?" So I found that. I sent him like that one person, that one video, that I found it. It's still out there. It's just private.
That's the best one.
Yeah,
That's
it was the best video.
That's the work that I'm proud of. That's what I want to be remembered for by Bob, I guess.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he misses you. He wanted me to say hi, but it was the best video. So you guys can't find that one. Sorry, but maybe one day we'll bring it back for a Throwback Thursday or something like that.
Number 2, gargle with an antiseptic in warm water, like vinegar or salt or lemon, every day if possible. Number 3, the virus attaches itself to hair and clothes. Any detergent or soap kills it, but you must take a bath or a shower when you get it from the street.
Yeah, don't forget to shower, people, while you're in quarantine. That's important.
Yeah, don't be like some just stinky ass quarantined person. Basic hygiene is still important in quarantine.
Your body needs to get showered from time to time.
Yeah, it's important.
Avoid sitting down anyway and go straight to the bathroom or shower. If you cannot wash your clothes daily, hang them in direct sunlight, which also neutralizes the virus.
That's hang them in direct sunlight, is what she said. And we've been doing that with our sheets and pretty much all of our clothes all year this year. So that's a good thing, especially in California. We have the best sun. Our sun is better than yours.
Number 4, wash metallic surfaces very carefully because the virus can remain viable on these for up to 9 days. Take note and be vigilant about touching handrails and door handles, etc. I guess within your own house as well, you can make sure that you are keeping those clean and wiping them down. Fire smoke.
John,
hey, gentlemen.
Soap that's foam. Do this for 20 seconds and wash your hands thoroughly. Number 7, eat fruits and vegetables. Try to elevate your zinc levels, not just your vitamin C levels.
Did you hear that? Try to elevate your zinc levels, not just your vitamin C levels. I thought that was an important one that I had been missing out on.
Number 8, animals do not spread the virus to people.
You don't have to worry about Anarcho Kitty
All right, good.
catching it or spreading it.
Yes, he's happy to hear that.
Transmission. Number 9, try to avoid getting the common flu. I guess because this just already weakens your system. Avoid eating any cold things.
Yeah, don't get sick right now. It's going to be increasingly difficult to find help for just the common stuff. Common cold, common flu. Yeah.
I was gonna
One
say,
point, Steph.
She said, "Be vigilant and not touching doorknobs." So how do you?
I think some Hollywood thoughts need to hear that one.
How do you get through doors? Just walk
You have
through
to
them?
you have to use your elbows, like squeeze them together. And
Only Jesus can walk through doors.
and my twin stepbrother is pretty good at walking through walls and things, but I tried it and just knocked myself out.
If you have to touch door handles and stuff, like have like a little one of those little airplane sized bottles of hand sanitizer that you keep in your jacket or something, and then just use a little bit of that after you touch door handles or whatever when you're out and about.
Used to could buy those for pennies. It was so cheap to buy those. Now you can't even find them, and if you can, they want to charge you like $200.
Yeah,
it's incredible. Thinking back, wow, it's like, man, I should have bought every single bottle I saw, but that was one that I missed out on. But I did make a video on how to create your own hand sanitizer. It's really easy, people, by the way.
That's right. Yeah, give that formula again.
Yeah, here's the skinny. Basically, if you have isopropate alcohol, it's just rubbing alcohol in your house. 70%.
Although that's getting hard to find now too.
It is. You can't really find that in the store, but people tend to have that around the house. So if you have that around the house, or if you don't have the rubbing alcohol, you have 180 proof vodka, which I'm sure you have that. I mean, everyone has that. Every Russian has that. You can use that instead. And the mixture goes like this: 2/3 alcohol to 1/3 aloe vera gel, and a pinch of whatever scented oil you like. You put that all in a bottle, shake it up, mix it up, and there you have your Purell style hand sanitizer. It works. It's great. I've been using it. Yeah. And you don't have to worry so much whenever you're in places where it's inconvenient for you to wash your hands, because you can just use that hand sanitizer, which is effective in killing all kinds of everything. And we like to kill all kinds of everything around here.
Dead. We have killed the air because now we have dead air.
Here, let me go back to the recording.
And number 10, if you feel any discomfort in your throat or a sore throat coming on, attack it immediately using the above methods. The virus enters the system this way and remains for 3 or 4 days within the throat before it passes into the lungs. Good luck to everyone. Take care of yourself and pass this information along if you wish.
All right, that's the end of that. Yeah, so that's a public service announcement from Rep Freedom Force to you. You're welcome. So sip on your green tea, break down the mucus before it becomes shards of glass in your throat, and be well.
Yes, and stop smoking.
Could be helpful.
Yeah.
If you find yourself short on breath because you're smoking, you might think, God, do I have it?
Is this a thing now? People are saying, be well.
Oh, really?
This is the second time I've heard it today.
Oh, really? I didn't realize I was in the zeitgeist on that be well trend. Hashtag be well, people. It's trending. Well, one thing's for sure, people are getting along a little better. I think, a couple of years ago, if you were of a different opinion, no matter what your political persuasion, if you just didn't agree, whether you're Republican, Democrat, or whatever, you were a Nazi, right? And I think all the Nazi talk has kind of fallen off during all this. That's one good positive thing. Like, for example, the other day I went to thought I'm going to get back into collecting comics. It's been like 30
where?
years.
We lost you there. Oh, comic book store?
Oh, yeah. I went to a local comic book store in my neighborhood because the comic book industry is dying. And I thought I would support, since it's been like 30 years since I've collected. So I went, and comic shop owner was kind of this, how would you say, a warrior for social justice? Something like that. I told him that I was listening to a live stream of Ethan Van Sciver, and it inspired me to, before I could even get the words out, he's like, that guy needs to shut the hell up. And Ethan Van Sciver is like a former comic book pro who's also a conservative and voted for Trump. And as a result, a lot of the SJWs in his industry tried to get him fired and banned basically, and so he was one of the and remains one of the kind of figureheads in the Comicsgate movement. Comicsgate, yeah. Anyway, so this comic owner definitely heard of him, didn't like him, and I'm like, well, for whatever it's worth, the dude's, Ethan Van Sciver is the one that got me to come here today and start a box. And the guy was like, what? So, and then the guy started talking like, I've noticed there's been a lot more peace in the world. Republicans and Democrats seem to be getting along and things. I guess he assumed I was a Republican since I mentioned Ethan Van Sciver. I'm not. I registered Democrat back on my birthday when I had to renew the driver's license because
you even attempted to vote for Bernie Sanders.
I did.
Yeah,
I did attempt to pull the lever for Bernie Sanders, but there was just way too many Bernie bros taking up the space. I could not compete. So I just went home. But anyway, yeah, a lot more peace in the world. Well, I guess, the one topic we didn't really get into on Sunday that I wanted to, and I'll just bring it up now. What is the world, what is society going to look like after all of this? That MIT article we started on Sunday says we're not going back to normal. So what does the new normal look like? Thoughts?
I wondered, what a bar is going to look like after this, or movie theaters and concerts and stuff.
If you want to practice pickup game, you might have to learn chat game or something.
Yeah, good question.
The bars, it's funny. The first thing you thought of is like, well, the bars will never be the same.
Yeah.
I'm really concerned about the movie, cinema, theater industry, not just because I own shares of AMC, and not only because my wife owns shares of AMC, and not only because I own long contracts on AMC.
Yeah, does everything just go straight to Disney Plus or Netflix or whatever?
Yeah, that's what's happening now. And it seems like once this genie has been let out of the bottle, that brand new Hollywood movies can go straight to your television at home. I'm not sure you can put that genie right back in.
Yeah. Are people basically going to be like, hey, wait a minute, why do we still go to movie theaters?
I think a lot of people will be asking that question. A lot of people have already asked that question and concluded, I'm not going anymore. And that's one of the reasons we've seen that AMC stock fall from $20 or $30 just a couple of years ago down to like $3 today. Incredible. Yeah. What else? Hookup culture will never be the same. That's for sure. What else? Airplanes. I'm not flying. I haven't been flying since I bought my electric car. That free supercharging gets me wherever I want to go in the United States. I did fly to China once, a couple weeks ago, but other than that, I haven't really done much flying. Yeah, I just got back from Wuhan the other day, but other than that, yeah, I've been using the superchargers and just driving everywhere I want to go. You guys, do you think flying is going to be something that you will reconsider, or just no big deal? Nothing to worry about.
And how long this lasts, and if it turns out not to be as bad as it is perceived.
Yeah, man. Well, it's spreading quickly through Hollywood, so they're not even able to shoot the films, much less present them in theaters. They can't even get together on set right now to finish the productions that have been started. And it seems like the only movies that we're going to be getting are the ones that were wrapped on filming and were just in editing and special effects. So we're going to get Onward is available right now, which was that Pixar movie that was in theaters and wasn't doing so well as a result of all this. But it's available now. You can watch at home. And coming film, one that probably should have come out about 10 years ago. That's the Scarlett Johansson character in the Marvel films. And James Bond. That was the other one that I'm aware of. Other than those, I'm not sure what movies we're going to be seeing in our houses. But yeah, that's the state of that.
I saw a meme recently that said, yeah, we're just watching a movie and everybody's at a restaurant. And they're all, that was so 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't pull up all the memes from this week, or well, since Sunday, but yeah, that was one of the ones. That's true, man. Like now, every time in a television show or in a movie, you see anyone like dining in a restaurant or flying in an airplane, you're just like, my God, what world was that we lived in? My God. I bought the wrong car, I believe, Justice. Oop, I lost you, Justice. You were saying something. Could you repeat?
How long do you guys think this is going to go on for?
I believe it's going to go on much longer than what the president's hoping for. He's hoping for churches to be filled on Easter Sunday, April 12th. He's hoping that shortly thereafter, the workforce will return in mass, and that the stock market will V-shaped bottom and rally to new highs. That's the hopeful image that the president's painting for us today.
Well, it's really a multi-part question. One, how long does the actual virus go on? Two, how long does the economic meltdown go on? Three, how long does the kind of quarantine aspect of it all go on? So all of those things could have very different timelines.
Here's the timeline that I'm picturing right now. They're going to attempt to go back to work, probably right along the timeline the president is laying out. That is, the 15-day plan is going to be extended from March 31st to about mid-April. All the other things like tax day being pushed back to July 15th, all that still stands. But they're going to try to get people back to work and get things back to a sense of normalcy mid-April. And it'll be before the end of April that we see the second wave, which is what they're just now reporting in the last week or so in China, the early signs of the second wave. That's not being reported in mainstream. It's not like you haven't heard of that yet. The second wave. The virologist that was on the Joe Rogan podcast that spoke about all of this, he referred to the second wave as a theoretical thing that they're expecting to happen. And so I've been waiting to hear it, and it was just last week that I heard it for the first time. China second wave. And,
right, because all the media stuff right now is saying that things are calming down in China.
Right, so you're not hearing this for sure. Once again, you tuned into Free Hollywood Live. You're hearing things here first. We're getting our news sources from direct from China through WeChat, because I live in the People's Republic. Well, they live with me in my Hollywood condo. In my father's house are many mansions, but I have no idea because he kicked me out a long time ago. Anyway.
What happens if Rand Paul doesn't ever become symptomatic?
Well, man, I mean,
it'll be out of the bag.
What does it mean in the great?
Well, I mean, first of all, I'd be very thankful. You know, I don't want any harm to come to any of the Pauls. Secondly, I think a lot of people, it'd be great confirmation bias to serve as proof and evidence that this whole thing is just a big giant masquerade. You know, it's theater on a massive scale, where all the central banks have gotten together and decided that this is going to be the way that they get unlimited money printing going.
How could it be? How could we all be so fooled?
Man, and it's like we were just, as a society, beginning to wake up. Okay, and I'm not talking about this fake left woke bullshit. I'm talking about like getting red pilled about the Federal Reserve and about the monetary system. Ron Paul really did push the needle in a major way in his 2008 and 2012 campaign, being able to be on the stage for the Republican primary was an awesome way to educate the American public about the banking system, about the Federal Reserve. And I recall at that time when I was first learning of how the money supply is created and managed and so forth, I began talking to people that I respect and knew. And a lot of them, they were totally oblivious to where money comes, how does it work, how is it created and destroyed, how is it inflated and all that. And when I began to talk about, they can just print up as much money as they need, people were just like, that's not true. That's impossible. But these days, you tell someone, the Fed can just print up as much money as they need. They're like, yeah, I know. It's a totally different zeitgeist. The needle has been moved. People do understand more. And yet, all the mistakes that were made in 2008 are being made at a exponentially greater rate.
Well, the unfortunate thing is that when people were waking up to that, it had appeared that Trump was waking up to that too. You go back and look at tweets from 2013 or whatever, where he's talking about, there's this big bubble, this is out of control, blah, blah, blah. It seemed like he understood some of this stuff, or at least there were people who had his ear who understood it.
Mm-hmm.
Of course,
Rand Paul being one of them.
Yeah. Of course, now he's president, and it's all about, get this bulging stimulus package going as fast as possible. Print, to infinity and beyond. So
very bold.
And it seems like business as usual, but I can't help but to wonder if maybe there's something else going on here. Do you think that it's possible that Trump, in whatever wisdom he has decided that he's going to use the deep state's most powerful weapon against it? Because they're trying to
going into the 4D chess arguments here.
We're going right into 4D chess. So it's like they're trying to collapse the economy, and you know how Trump was very skeptical of coronavirus all in the beginning. Yeah, I said it. YouTube, corona fucking virus, Wuhan. You got it. So demonetize me. Anyway, he was skeptical and was very light and dismissive of it in his public statements in the early days, right? And I could imagine that he was probably, as he was just coming off of the giant Russiagate trial, that he's thinking, here we go again. This is like Russiagate Part 4 or something like that. Like, this is just going to be the next thing the Democrats use to try to ruin this economy and ruin my administration and so forth. So he changed. Of course, now every day he's on TV and he's done a total 180 from that, and he's got in front of it now and is leading the charge with his Tecate task force on a daily basis. And so I just can't help but to wonder if maybe why it seems he's flipped on monetary policy is because he sees that this would collapse the economy.
Well,
and he's doing what the Obama people did back in 2008, but he's doing it. He basically asked that guy we just watched on TV, like, how much can we do? Like, where do we start hitting the maximums? And 4 trillion was the number, and he's like, do it. 4 trillion.
The problem with this 4D chess argument is that his demand that the bubble be propped up was going on a lot longer before the Dos Equis flu began. All right. December 2018, the market looks like it's running into a little trouble. He starts complaining that the Fed isn't cutting rates fast enough.
Yeah,
Right.
I recall he was talking about that back then, and it was like even before then, but it was the Russiagate stuff at that point. It's been one
So
thing
I
after
don't
the
know.
other as far as
He
that
wants to
goes.
keep the bubble going long enough just to
Yes.
stay in power.
Yes. He doesn't want to be the one on his watch where the bubble popped and the whole collapse began to unfold. The things that a lot of the gold bugs have been talking about for decades. We haven't seen that yet. I mean, I haven't seen it. I prepared for it in 2008. Never really happened, right? Still hasn't happened. And what's going on right now so far in my libertarian experience since I come to know about all of this is the closest thing to legitimate collapse that I've ever seen in my life. And
it's
I'm
the
not
closest thing
afraid
to
or
a
anything.
legitimate collapse that anybody living right now has really seen in their life, unless you were, unless you're 100 years old and you were, like 9.
Right.
When the
Unfortunately,
last collapse happened.
we lost Jacques Fresco a couple of years ago, unfortunately. But yeah, he was one of those old geezers, 103 years old.
Okay.
I think he may have passed away at 102.
So yes, this is the closest thing to that collapse that people have seen in their lifetimes,
Right,
precisely
right.
because we've kicked the can down the road so long, from at least since 1971.
And it's only just begun. We had the big historic drop in the stock market was just a couple of weeks ago, right? Like this thing only started a couple of weeks ago as far as the actual
big
market
meltdown. Will be 2 weeks ago on Thursday.
Yeah. Huh. Yeah, it's happened pretty quickly, and it seems like to me, as much as I would hope that we could get back to normal soon, even if it makes me look like a full up windows at the restaurant for that outcome. But I think it's wishful thinking. So my advice, not financial advice, okay? I mean, you do what you want with your money. I definitely say if you're buying this bounce, you may be buying early, but don't take that as financial advice. I am saving dry powder for the next dip, which will be the real dip. And who knows? Nobody really knows, but that's my thesis that I'm playing for on the financial markets. But as far as your physical well-being and so forth, all those tips that we had in the audio file earlier that's all stuff that the basic stuff we should be doing. Don't shake hands and wash your hands and all that stuff.
So speaking of physical well-being,
well, let me finish this thought, but hold that thought. I want to hear what you're saying. Touch with the people that did prepare.
What?
Oh, you're not able to hear me?
No.
Okay. You can hear me now? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. The advice is get in touch with the people that did prepare. Start reaching out to not necessarily loved ones, just acquaintances, friends. Just start reaching out to people and find people that perhaps can help you out in this time. And I had a friend earlier today. You remember Q from the meetup? The black guy with the dreadlocks that used to come to meet up from time to time.
Yeah, tall dude. He's
Yeah.
like as tall as me.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I mean, he's like 2 foot tall.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah, tiny little member of my species.
Anyway, he's back in touch with me, and he was the guy that when I first met him, he impressed me because he was a Y2K prepper. So he heard of us Ron Paul people, and he's like, "Yeah, I heard you guys were into prepping. Heard you guys were like into gold and stuff, like all the stuff I'm into." And he's like, "Yeah, I want to be one of you people." And so he used to hang out with us. But he just texted me today, and he's like, "You know what, man? I didn't prepare for this thing." I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Well, I mean, I bought a couple of weeks worth of stuff, but I'm afraid I'm going to run out soon." So, the fact that he's in touch with me, I told him, like, "Look, here's my address. You just let me know when you're on the way, and I'll put a bag together for you, leave it outside. You come pick it up, man. It'll have a few things that you need, get you through another couple of weeks." And, if you find yourself in a situation where things are getting really bad out there and you don't have what you need, now's the time to be getting in touch with the people in your life. Now's the time to be reconnecting. And, maybe there's someone in your family that could really help you out that you were an asshole to in the past. Apologize. Call them. Ask for forgiveness. Tell them what an asshole you were. Let them know that you were a total and complete douche hat. And make it right. And so that they can give you a gift package. And, it's coming down to that. Hopefully the supply chains will get flowing again. Justice and I had a good debate offline this week about supply chains and the free market. And it was good. He reminded me of how the free market, when left to itself, maybe I should let Justice speak for himself. But
well, I was really concerned about what Trump said. I think it was yesterday's daily briefing on the Takati thing, and he brought up two words, and Bob Barr followed up with a reinforcement of those two words, and that those two words are, I think, red flags. Is when he was talking about price controls, and he called it price gouging, and the other thing was hoarding or stockpiling. And I thought those are things that every time there is a crisis are demonized. But I mean, it's like being mad at the person that prepared for something. Like, this is what happened in Russia, is when they started socializing the farm industry or the means of production. Somehow it didn't work anymore, and so everybody was starting to starve. And there were some people that saw this coming and prepared for it, and so everybody's houses were raided for food, and all their food was stolen from them because they were hoarding.
Right, and you were hoarding, and you were a kulak who needed to be liquidated if you had, 2 cows or something, because now you were hoarding cows.
Right.
And when you say liquidated, do you mean like in the mafia sense?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the term that the Stalinists used was, we will liquidate the kulaks as a class. That was their euphemism for genocide, basically, was liquidation.
Jeez.
It was happening a couple years ago in South Africa.
Yeah, similarly, yeah. I mean, the same process has been repeated over and over, and recently it seemed like South Africa was next in terms of like this collectivization of a farmland.
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
They took over the means of production. They were taking farmlands away from competent people that were actually able to produce food and giving it to people that had no idea how to run large-scale farming equipment,
mm-hmm.
The business, and so all of a sudden production started dying off in food production, and people started starving. And so what do? They take more farmland away from more farmers that are competent and able to produce food. I just think that it's dangerous to think that government is better than the free market, and government knows how to produce anything and distribute anything, because they don't. And just hate to see that repeated again. And I thought it was a real red flag when Trump and Bob Barr said basically that we'll come knocking on your door if we find out that you're hoarding. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I believe Jesus' argument was, well, he is talking about warehouse industrial scale, size or sort of scale of hoarding. But
right, I was pointing out that he used the language that seemed to suggest that this was industrial scale hoarding, but as you pointed out, which really opened my eyes, kind of shook me out of the status funk that I found myself in that day, was they confiscated the gold in 1933 because
exactly. Like think of those classic Disney cartoons with Scrooge McDuck. Those are propaganda cartoons in some ways, because he's this evil capitalist rolling around in his gold. He's hoarding gold. That was the accusation, that people were hoarding gold that the government needed to spend. And so there came the gold confiscation in 1933.
Whenever I used to watch DuckTales, that was my favorite character. I was like, I want to be just like Scrooge McDuck when I grow up.
Yeah, except now you're hoarding Wen token instead of gold.
I'm sitting on my bag of ether. Sitting on my ETH
But
bag.
yeah, I mean, the accusations of hoarding are definitely exist in American history too, and the gold confiscation that FDR did, that's now really long forgotten at this point. Most people don't even know that this ever happened. But the confiscation of privately owned gold was coincided with this accusation that people were hoarding.
Right. The knowledge of the 1933 confiscation came back to public consciousness in 2008 when the financial crisis was just getting kicked off, and all of the merchants of gold began pushing gold on the radio and on television and on the internet and in your email, and you're on the bathroom and there's an ad that pops up. It's like everywhere you look, there was gold, buy gold ads. And in those ads, they made sure to let you know back in 1933, the government confiscated all the gold, and it could happen again. If all you have are collectible coins, you need to get yourself some bullion and get it into our private Fort Knox so we can take care of it. Anyway, it was a really good sales pitch. I totally bought it. And I still have my gold from 2008. For the most part. You gentlemen still with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not on that boat that sank.
So what do you guys think? Do you think
the gold is not? No, I
it's
still have
not.
the gold.
All right, that did not sink all the way down into the hollow earth like we were talking about last time.
That's right. We were saying that not only did our Bitcoin wallets with all of the Bitcoin sink in that ship, all of Justice's AK-47 parts that he had accumulated over the years had also sank in that boat. And so it's a real shame. A real shame.
Sank so far that it is deep inside the hollow earth now.
It got melted in the magma and repurposed in the hollow earth by the reptilians.
Yes.
To build their machinery. What machinery, you may ask? The hologram projectors, of course.
Yes.
For the holographic moon.
Yes.
the holographic Earth?
Well, it's just the next level of the conspiracy. We didn't go to the moon? Or did we go to the moon? Or
is there no moon at all?
By the way, that one of my favorite Ali G bits was when he interviewed Buzz Aldrin, of NASA fame, supposedly walked on the moon and all. And Ali G's like, today we have our man Buzz Lightyear. He just kept calling him Buzz Lightyear. And he says to him, so here's the big question that everyone wants to know. Does the moon exist? and Buzz is like, I'm not sure that's what people are wondering. Yeah, it exists. And I went there. Anyway, good stuff. Good stuff. But yeah, the hoarding of the toilet paper. So you think like the ladies that were fighting for the toilet paper in Costco is going to be getting a knock on their door?
Well,
Bob Barr's going to be at their door with his like bulldog-looking hound dog face, like, "You've got too much toilet paper."
It just shows like how far civilization has declined in just the span of 3 generations. We've gone from confiscating gold to now we will confiscate toilet paper that people are hoarding. People don't hoard gold anymore; they just hoard toilet paper.
Well, we joke about that, but look at Venezuela.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, it's getting to the point where toilet paper may literally take the place of paper cash in some regards, in the barter sense. neighbors trading toilet paper for coffee and so forth.
That would have to be like months without any production, I think. But so far, they haven't shut everything down.
It happened. So far, they what?
They haven't shut everything down.
Right. A lot of the restaurants are still going. And by the way, tonight's live stream is brought to you unofficially by Postmate. Postmate is the delivery service, just like Uber Eats, that you can sign up and drive for through their Postmate app. And I've been doing that now for a few days. So Postmate is paying my bills, therefore sponsoring the show. And if you do find yourself needing some income and want to do it Corona free, you can download the Postmate app, sign up, just takes a few minutes. And after I signed up, I thought for sure it'd be a few days, maybe a week on the background check. And I got a notification like an hour later saying you've been accepted. And I'm like, well, I'm sure I couldn't get paid today. I've got to connect my bank account, and it's going to take at least a week. It took at least a week with Uber to connect the bank. No, they accepted my debit card and was willing to pay me that day. So I downloaded the app, got accepted into the program within an hour, was driving and got paid that day. I didn't actually drive that day, but I could have, because I went driving the next day and I got paid.
Yeah, you got paid the same day?
Was that?
You got paid the same day?
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
good.
You can choose to get paid the same day, or you can let it ride and they'll pay you once a week. I think there's like a nominal fee if you choose the instant pay kind of thing. So I just let it ride. I'll get paid at the end of the week. But the point is, if you want to support the stream, check out the comments below. Not the comments, the description. Look in the description. There's a code that you can use and a link that will get you started. And if you use that link, you're supporting the show. So thank you very much to Postmates for supporting tonight's show. What are you guys doing for income? Well, Justice he's all set. He's going to be he's in security and preservation of property. So he's going to be busy.
Yeah. I actually accepted a new post today.
Yeah.
Ah, cool.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Tomorrow.
Oh, you start tomorrow?
I have another interview for a different job tomorrow. But
Dang,
it's kind of a
everyone's sitting home, nothing to do, and you have like 3 job interviews.
yeah, it's kind of nice.
Well, congratulations on that. I know it's been a while as far as the fortunes. So that's good. It seems like things are looking up, on the up and up. Yeah. Not so much for me. I'm still sitting on a bag of Win token.
Oh, Win token will come back.
It will have its day, its triumphant return. I just don't look at it and assume that whenever Bitcoin hits its new all-time high, then I'll look at it and be like, oh, look, it's worth $300 again. I'll take break even.
That's pretty much what you need to do with altcoins, especially things like that at this point. Just leave them alone. Don't think about them. Don't think about anything other than BTC and Ethereum for now. Uh-oh, what's happening there?
I think Justice just covered the camera with his hand. Here, I'm going to remove him from the stream just for a second in case they're having technical difficulties. Give them a chance to square that out. I think he's trying to maybe get his avatar up. We need to get an avatar for Monkey Wrench. I hope he can be joining us here on the stream more often than just tonight. Bring him back. He's muted. Guess he's muted himself. Okay. Remove again. Man. Well, I hate that we've lost them, but we're going to be meeting again on Sunday night. And so far, I think we've been able to pull that off. We've done it 2 Sundays without missing in a row. And I think we did.
We've cut it close in terms of Justice really being able to participate.
Yeah, I mean, he's just so in desperate need right now. Everyone needs him.
So yeah. So, I mean, we should try to be a little better about timing and stuff, especially if he's got the Yeti and everything now.
Well, I tell you one thing that could be helpful to me, because since I'm, basically setting up the streams and doing all the graphics and stuff, maybe what one of you guys can volunteer to do is to kind of go through our offline chat to pull together topics
and stuff. Yeah.
And just so that would just be one thing that I could delegate off, so that when it comes time for preparing the shows, I'm really focused on the graphics and the titling and so forth. And then we have like already some bullet points that someone else has prepared, so I don't have to spend yet another 15 or 20 minutes trying to get that prepared as well.
All right, good. I'll do that.
It would take the preparation time for the show down from like an hour, or I guess right now I'm averaging about like an hour and a half to get prepared for a stream. For me, more like 30 minutes or 45 minutes instead of hour and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, and another thing, one other thing that could be delegated is we have like some really great memes that come up throughout the week, like pulling them from our Signal chat and emailing them to yourself so they'd be available during the stream. And I think there's a way that we can. One thing we should do before we close tonight out, just as a like a bit of a technical test. I want to see if you can share anything from your computer to the stream.
Okay.
And I believe you can. I just don't know how you can, but let's try to figure it out together. I want you to share something. Now, do you see a button down at the bottom that says screen share?
Yeah, share screen.
So I'm going to do stop screen share on my end. Press share screen on your end, and let's see what happens. It's going to give you like some choices of what do you want to share, and then you'll pick one of those. I usually pick entire screen at risk of doxing myself.
Okay, select window or screen. Oh, that's all stuff I don't want. Docs. This is all like professional stuff.
All that porn.
No.
You're like, no.
All right, we can do entire screen then, because that's all just that's just gonna show Firefox right now, right?
All right, let's see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, I see it. Okay, Darth Yoda's screen just appeared below, so I'm going to add that to the stream. Bang. There it is.
Okay.
So now you're sharing screen. I'll go ahead and remove it, since you don't really have anything that you literally want to share, but that's how that works. All right, I am so happy to know how that works. So on future streams, feel free to pull up some tabs.
I could have a folder with the memes and stuff saved. Yeah,
exactly. A folder with memes. You can have a few tabs of videos that you might want to watch or review, or anything like that, and you can share as well. That'll be great.
Yeah,
man, that's cool. All right. Well, spending time with you guys and with everyone out there in YouTube land is a real treat. Everyone usually at the daily grind, going to work, coming home, playing games, beating off, doing it all over again next day. It's a grind that's nice to break up that monotony. And I'm really enjoying time with the family here, and enjoying time with you guys. Looking forward to doing it a whole lot more. I tried to bring Justice and Monkey Wrench back into the stream, but it appears as though they are gone for good.
Yeah, I think they're done for the night. Yeah, they look on the private tab.
Well, we'll go ahead and close out tonight's stream, but don't hang up. Hang up like this is a telephone call. Darth Yoda, I want to see if after ending the broadcast, you could still be backstage and we can still talk.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
So thank you all for joining tonight. And if you're listening in the replay, once again, thank you very much. If you listen through all of this, you indeed are a true true fan of Rep Freedom Force and Free Hollywood. So until we meet again, which will be on Sunday night, you all love the ones you love and take care of yourselves.